Traders waste thousands of dollars trying to choose the right prop firm, and oftentimes they choose wrong. Here at Prop Firm Match, our goal is to help you choose the right firm for you, and today we're going to go over one of the biggest debates: futures versus Forex prop firms. We'll cover the key trading conditions, rules, and costs to help you pick the best one for you. The truth is that futures firms and Forex prop firms, they both operate differently, so they have their advantages and their challenges alike. So I'm going to break down the key differences that you need to know. Futures prop firms trade on a centralized exchange, which means you get no variations in spreads on any platform. So what this does is it provides a cleaner environment for traders who like to scalp when you want to get those specific executions. While Forex prop firms deal with varying spreads because there is no centralized exchange. Forex prop firms give you a variety of different assets that you can trade, from indices, commodities, and Forex pairs. But with the different varying spread conditions, this can sometimes be unpredictable as well, depending on which firm you choose. So if we come over here to the spread section of Prop Firm Match, you can see the live updated spreads for these different CFD firms. You can see what they offer for the specific pairs and metals, and along with indices and even crypto as well. And why this is important is because tighter spreads can make a huge difference on your trading. So if having no spreads and very accurate executions is important for your trading style, then futures firms might be better for you, but Forex firms do offer tight spreads. You just have to choose the right one, like we said. Now let's take a look at the evaluation process. In this video, we'll compare the two most common models, which is the two-step CFD evaluation versus the one-step futures evaluation. Many Forex firms like FTMO like to use a two-step evaluation process. You have to hit a profit target in phase 1 and then generally a lower profit target for phase 2. CFD firms offer a variety of different accounts, from one-step, two-step, sometimes three-step, and instant funding, while futures firms generally have just a one-step or instant funding. One isn't necessarily better than the other because Forex firms give you more time to actually pass these accounts, while futures firms are more constrained, and once you get funded, the rules are a little bit stricter on futures firms in terms of how you actually can take your profits. For Forex CFD firms, drawdowns can be static or trailing, depending on the firm. Some firms even apply trailing drawdown on the evaluation phase, while others only use static. A daily loss rule also applies in most cases, and for the two-step, the drawdown is generally static. This makes your buffer more predictable. On a 100K account, your drawdown is generally 10%, which means you would have a $90,000 max drawdown, regardless of how much profit you made, as long as you don't break the max daily loss rule. In futures firms, most of them are a trailing drawdown. Let's say you had 100K account again. Most of the drawdown for a 100K account is about $3,000 on futures firms. You can't lose more than $3,000, but let's say you go and profit $3,000. Now your trailing drawdown is going to be at $100,000. So instead of being at $97,000 like it would have been when you first got the account, as you make profit, it's going to trail that $3,000. So if you go up $10,000, your max drawdown is going to be $107,000. So okay, let's talk about profit splits and payouts. On the Forex side, it is very clear. You generally get about an 80 to 90% profit split, and the conditions in order to get your payout are generally less than it would be for, let's say, a futures firm. Now, it is worth noting though that some Forex firms do have consistency rules, which means that you can't just have one big trade and then receive your payout, but firms like FTMO and The5ers, they don't have a consistency rule. Now, and for futures firms, for Top Step, you get 100% of the first $10,000, and then for Apex, you get 100% of the first $25,000, and then after that, it goes to a 90-10 split, which means that traders keep 90% and then the firm keeps the 10. Trailing drawdown still does apply when you withdraw. For futures firms, if you were to make $5,000, you couldn't withdraw the whole $5,000, as your account drawdown is going to reset to 0. Back to that 100K account, we make $5,000 on our 100K account. I recommend that you leave at least that minimum balance of that $3,000 for your buffer, because that's the way that you're going to be able to overcome that trailing drawdown when it comes to the account balance resetting to 0. And I've had friends and members in my community and that I've close to that didn't know this rule about futures firms, and they withdrew all the profits from their account and then they had no drawdown. So the very first trade that they took, their account immediately got breached. For Forex firms, you generally pay a one-time fee. Let's say for a 50K account, you're looking at about around $200 to $400 for the all-in cost. And if you pass, you're funded. Simple as that. Futures firms take a slightly different route. You generally pay a lower upfront cost for a monthly subscription basis. So for each month, it's going to charge you anywhere from $70 to $150 depending on your account size. It could even be even larger than that. And then after you pass, you generally have to pay an activation fee. Futures firms allow you to fail more challenges without having to pay the full cost, but you do have to pay that back end cost with the activation fee once you do get funded. So in total, it generally comes around about even in all-in cost. So now let's take a look at the most popular firms on Prop Firm Match, now starting with the CFD firms. So in first place, we have Funding Pips with an overall review score of a 4.4. You can see if you use code MATCH, you'll receive 5% off on these accounts. In second place, we have Alpha Capital with a 4.4 as well. And then you can see here that if you use the code match, you will get 15% off on that account there. For third place, we have The5ers with a 4.8 overall rating, and you can get 5% off on this account challenge currently. So if we click over here to this dial, we can switch over to our futures firms, and now we can see our futures bestsellers. Coming in at number 1, we have My Funded Futures with a 4.6 overall rating, and then use that code match, get your 5% off. And then at number 2, we have Top 1 Futures with a 4.8 rating, and number 3, Alpha Futures with a 4.9 rating. And it's important to note that these rates are based off a weighted average of the total reviews. So you can see you have 49 reviews for My Funded Future, 20 for Top 1 Futures, and 13 for Alpha Futures. So which prop firm is right for your personal trading style? For scalpers, I would recommend futures firms, as you can have more accurate executions and no spreads to deal with. For swing traders, I would recommend Forex firms, as the static drawdown allows you to hold trades longer. I would just make sure that your firm allows you to hold trades throughout the weekends and throughout days, and specifically throughout news events as well. For beginners, I would recommend Forex firms, as they don't have that trailing drawdown, and the evaluation stages are a little bit longer, as you don't have to pay for a month-by-month basis, which gives you more time to execute on the challenge to get higher probability setups. And in terms of a payout process, the rules are way looser generally with Forex firms, which makes it less difficult to actually get your payout. At the end of the day, neither Forex firms or future firms are better than one or the other. It really just depends on what your trading style is, what your goals are in terms of looking at your funded account. If you're looking at trying to pass accounts quicker, then futures firms will be the one that I recommend for you, as they have the lower targets, but just know that you're going to be facing some stricter rules. So make sure you go to Prop Firm Match to check out all the different rules for the futures firms. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content, and we'll see you guys in the next video.